Let's do this.
Let's go. We got it.
Well, good morning. Good morning. We are
everyone.
on Friday and we are at the last parsha of the book of Exodus. Brenda, I'm sad already. I didn't get it. I didn't get enough. I didn't have enough time.
I didn't. I know. I feel like, oh my gosh, this can't be the end. There's so many things I still want to dig into, but you know what? I was reading this week, and one of our blessed brothers who's now in glory with the Holy One, right? Brad Scott, he said, you know what, guys, it's not about knowing everything. It's not about the achievement of knowing everything. It's about the climb. It's about climbing up. It's about struggling through. It's about wrestling through. It's about digging in. It's about falling down and getting back up again. And I needed that word so much today, Charlie, because this parsha, seriously, this parsha is like so over my head, like all of the symbolism and everything that's going on in it. I just feel like there's nothing that I can say that would even be able to, even momentarily, shed any light. It's just so amazing and so beautiful, and the colors, Charlie. The color.
Well, let me do this really fast because this
do all the things.
Let people get in, but I just want to say,
let everyone in.
Welcome to everyone who is here with us live around our Zoom kitchen table. You are welcome to join us if you're watching over on the portion and you're like, oh, I want to go over where they're at. One of the reasons is because, well, hey, it's cool to be at our house. We're sitting in, you get to join us. But the other reason is because afterwards we do an after party. We shut the cameras down, we shut the recording down and the live streams down, and we all just get to be sisters and kind of chat and talk about some real stuff for a little bit. For me, y'all just know it's going to be a little short today because I have a second half of my move wave is coming in and I'm going to have to get things prepped for that plus Shabbat. So it's a busy, good day. But I just want to invite you, if you are listening or watching live right now on Facebook, please join us. And we love you, right, Brenda? Facebookers,
we love you.
You're over in the portion. Thank you. Yeah. For those of you that are new, welcome to the Rooted Cafe.
Welcome,
you're watching the portion. This is one of the divisions of our ministry. We minister to you through Facebook and also live here around our kitchen table. Brenda, this is Brenda Stroth.
Hi, everyone. Sister. So nice to meet you all of you that are new. We love you. You just come on in, grab your coffee. Let's go. Or or your green drink.
Yeah, or your whatever. Yeah. So listen, I have this is from Linda Millett. Linda, don't think that I just picked this. I was laughing this morning thinking that I pull this out, and you're probably thinking, oh, she pulls that out just because like she's going live. She wants me to think that she loves it. I literally grab this cup every day, but I also especially make sure I have it because it just blesses my heart. I love this cup. So thank you for this. I also have another cup from Ruth Camargo. She made for me a special one when I was visiting. Oh. And Brenda, there's lots of changes going on. Well, let me finish what I was saying. I guess, for those of you that are new around here again, and if you love this, if you've been blessed by this, can we just invite you? Because if this is, we also have a private discipleship community as part of our ministry. And that discipleship ministry that's private, you can check it out for 7 days, go on there for free. It is $19.99 a month. It does cost us to put that platform up and do all the things. So unfortunately, we always say, the gospel's free, but getting it to the nations is not. We did though, praise the Father. We just, our 501c3 nonprofit status just went through. So all of you who donated for the Sister Finder know that was a tax deductible donation. Your membership is a tax deductible donation. So just know that we are honored if you choose to be with us here, or if you choose to go deeper into a discipleship ministry with us, that I just want you to be blessed. Thank you, Caitlin. I did make you co-host, so thank you for letting people in.
Thank you, Sissy.
We love you. So at the end of the month, we have first of all, we have the Purim conference. So if you are not signed up yet, you can go to therootedcafe.com. Oh, Sombra, I was praying I would see your face today. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Go to
Sombra, you're distracting.
Go to the Rooted Cafe events. Up at the top, you can click events and you can register. All of our events are live and free. If you want to watch them on the replay, we do have a small fee just to get the videos so that you can watch them over and over, invite friends over, I highly recommend that you do that. Do watch parties.
Make it
part of your community. If you're like, I can't have a fellowship because I don't know how to teach Torah. Well, then use all of our content. We don't,
Use us.
just
Use us. We're
invite
fine
people
with
over
it.
and play the video, like hit play and have food, like tell everyone to bring, we used to do these chat and choose, Brenda, where everyone brought a can of soup, like maybe you pick 2 different soups so that you don't have like a hobo soup like when we were kids, but you just have like a couple different soups you pick and you have 2 big pots going and everyone just dumps their can in and whoever's hosting it does the grilled cheese sandwiches. And it's a chat and chew, like have everyone just come over, and it does not have to be a big deal, you guys. You just need to get in touch with each other and love on each other.
Yeah.
You don't, please stop overcomplicating it.
Please
touch each other, just meet, just get together. Yeah. So yes, but at the end of the month, so get in there and register for the Purim event. It's going to be a beautiful experience. Fun. We have a fun young lady who's going to be reading her, as if she were Esther, reading her diary or what's happening. So she'll be like reading it to you, like she's reading her diary to you. So you'll get to have that experience. Debbie Frantic is going to be going through the process of prepping yourself with oils and getting ready to approach your king. It's going to be beautiful. We'll have beautiful worship. It's going to be it'll be a nice evening. Again, feel free, if you can't make it live, get the recording from us and then just have friends over. Dress up, how fun. The world is doing great. They get to do Halloween. Let's do Purim right.
We get to do Purim right. We get to have fun.
I know. The end of the month, we have a half-day conference with Valerie Moody. She's going to be teaching. It's called The Appointments at the Altar, A Warrior's Guide to Hope. Ladies, she is going to teach you how to be a warrior at the altar. Prayer, how to get in there. It'll be, we're going to do sessions, short sessions with breaks, because I tell you will need a break after each session. Again, this is a free event. Mark it on your calendar. Go into our events section on the Rita Cafe. Go in there. The registration is not open yet. It will be this week, but at least you can save the date. It's, I believe, the last Sunday of the month for half a day.
Check the calendar.
Yeah, right. Random pro tip. I know this is so funny, but I have a random pro tip, Brenda, today.
Oh, good. Tell me, because I need
one. You can buy these at the dollar store. I put an X on. I don't know. Oh, I know. You could buy these at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever your dollar store is called. Or I bought like a pack of 6 or so. Homeschooling moms are going to be like, duh, we know this. But those of you who are not homeschooling moms, these are plastic sleeves. If you are doing Brenda's alphabet course and you're learning the alphabet and you're doing the practice pages and you're trying to kind of learn how to write some of these letters, print the page, put the page in the sleeve, get your white erase marker and practice all, and then swipe it and then go again, and then wipe it and then go again. I'm giving you a stewardship tip. These are $1 and you don't have to pay for printing it over and over and over. You just print it once and slip it in here for your children. If you are a homeschooler and you didn't know about these, hello, you're welcome.
I did not. I'm not homeschooling and I did not.
So, yeah, run to the Dollar Tree, Brenda. You need those and you can just sit. And if you're wanting to practice writing stuff, or, you just can do that. It's really great for writing work. So this week, I don't even know if I'm going to say, I do this every year. I should have practiced. Pekudei. Is that right?
Pekudei.
I feel like it needs to be an E at the end because of the I.
Yeah.
I'm overcomplicating this, like most things.
It's easy.
I was going to be like, Father, please let Sombra be on here because she'll tell me. I was praying for you this morning, Sombra, because I'm going to start crying. I just miss you. I don't know. I just miss your little face. Yeah. And so just know you're loved and missed. And anyway, the devil is our Canadian friend, so everyone love on her for a minute. The devil's is not in the details here, Brenda, in this Parsha.
Look at that. Hi guys, you're together.
Stop you two being together. Oh my gosh, for those of you who can't see, we have 2 of our girls. Lori Dawn. That's not Lori Dawn. It's Melissa, isn't it?
That's Melissa.
It's Melissa.
I'm so sorry. Oh
yeah. She's okay.
What do I know?
Okay. I have my better glasses on. So
yeah.
And also I have a giant screen, Brenda. So give yourself have grace. I have giant screen. But thank you. Thanks for oh my God, seeing you. Okay, Brenda. I had wrote this down, Brenda, though, that the devil is not in these details.
Oh no, he is not. There's no room.
I mean, I was listening to pick a person. So whoever said this, whoever I was learning this teaching from,
we're giving you credit.
We're giving you credit right now because then I don't know anything. I've got it from someone else. So let's just say, so many of these feel like instructions, like you're putting IKEA furniture together, right? Does anyone else when you're reading, when you go through Exodus, you're like, this is literally like all these instructions and what we need to do. It's like putting IKEA instructions together.
Yep.
But Brenda, I was right, last night when Randy and I, okay, so those of you who don't know, we just moved, we have come off, I have officially, we are operating full-time as missionaries to the United States, to the world now, I guess, as Torah instructors, or as Torah, bringing Torah to the nations. But we've been traveling for the last 2 years, and for 2 years we were helping a family in their home, helping at another location. So I realized, Brenda, that's the definition of a missionary. Like, I'm gonna just like, that's what's been happening. Like we have been on the mission field.
Yes, you have.
He has allowed us, we have our own home. We are renting a home up in Northwest Arkansas, just outside of Bentonville. If you're up here, holla, get in touch with me. Let's meet up, schedule it. I'll show up. Let's have lunch and coffee and all the things. But we just moved in here, and as we're putting things away, and we're just talking about things. Last night we've been buying a lot of furniture off of Facebook Marketplace, trying to be really good stewards, and we have met the most amazing people and have the most amazing God stories from these experiences. But we were just chatting, and one of the things that came up was about someone my husband was talking to, a dear friend of ours, and she was sharing about how she was going into business with her son and a friend, and how they were doing this business together. And when it all got done, he was like, can I just give you some advice? And she's like, of course. And he said, you need to get a contract. I think you need to see an attorney, and you need to get a contract between the three of you, so that if it's all fine and good when you all love each other, but when things might go wrong, you can go back to the contract, and it helps you stay friends. Remember, right here, you need to think about it like, when things go wrong, what could happen? How do we need to process this? So you should sit down with an attorney and think about what's worst case scenario that could happen. If this blows up, how do we handle that? If this blows up, how do we handle that? In the Ruta Cafe, we do that with our team, with our board. We sit down, we're like, worst case, what if this happens? How are we going to walk this through well? How do we prepare for something so that we can do it well, and we can love women, and we can be honorable and have integrity and walk this out? Okay. It hit me this morning again as I was reading through this. That's what he's doing through the book of Exodus. He's like, okay, we're all in our little honeymoon, honeymoon. And one of the dimensions of this is, I need to show you, this is a contract. I need to show you when things go wrong, how you handle it. We're going to see this going into the book of Leviticus deeper. He's going to say, don't be afraid of the book of Leviticus. Embrace it, love it. Pray for him this year, for it to wash over you like never before, and for you to have a fresh revelation of joy. Right, Brenda?
Yes.
But when things go, it's all fine and good when you're all in the honeymoon stage of something new. But when things don't go so good, I want to remind you that this is how you, if some rogue priest comes in and wants to start weaving things, he wants to be an individual, and he doesn't identify with that costume, and he wants to identify with a new costume, he's going to say, I decided I want to wear orange today. So we dyed some wool. My wife made me this thing. And so I'm wearing orange today. And because I'm an individual, this is how I'm doing things. And they can all say, the instructions say in the contract, let's read line 7, verse 2, line 7, paragraph 6. Yeah.
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 And there's no mistaking it. They can say, it's not us, sorry.
It's a place of safety, don't you think, Charlie? Don't you think that is just a place of safety?
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we're going to get it all right, guys. No. Sometimes we're going to be wearing orange thinking it's purple. And that's where grace comes in.
Thank you. But it's not because and what we can say is, hey, sister.
Yeah. Today's purple day.
Today's purple day. Hello. I mean, I remember working in different clinics, and, you have a day we wear blue scrubs. The next day we wear green scrubs, and it'd be like, sis, you have the wrong color on today. And you feel, you just want there's something about having the uniform. Look at your sports teams or anything, your military or anything. There's something about having a uniform that also brings, not only it lets people see like, oh, that's that position. We need that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need us to do that. He knows the hairs on our head. He knows who we are. Right. We needed to see a priest dressed a certain way.
Yes.
We needed to see a tabernacle a certain way. We needed that.
Yeah. And what if we approached this, instead of pointing out that somebody else is wearing orange when it should be purple? What if we approach this, Charlie, as saying, hey, I have an extra one right here. would you like to wear this? Instead of saying, you're wearing orange. What's the matter with you? You're ruining everything. You're out of order. How about if we just like began loving each other and covering each other, right?
Yeah.
Quietly. Oh, there's your sound. You're good
Yeah.
now.
Thank you. I was like, Misty just sent me a message over here, said I couldn't, I don't, thank you, Misty. I'm now
you.
sound like I have my radio voice on now. Thank you. Told you. My computer's like switching on its own. It's literally been randomly switching. If I just restart, all of you just know I'll be back because that's been happening the last 2 days. I've been having some very important conversations. My computer just restarts itself.
Yeah, being weird.
But can you, Brenda,
Well, we'll trust
we
you.
talk about this grace, and I mean, it seems like it's not part of this, but when we go through this, I was reading, and for those of you who like First Fruits of Zion has a their Torah Club #1. It's called Unrolling the Scroll, and they have a section here. It says the last 2 chapters of the book of Exodus describe the making of the priestly garments and final necessary elements before the assembly of the tabernacle. Over the course of these 2 chapters, the phrase "just as the Lord had commanded Moses" is repeated 14 times. 7 times in chapter 39 and 7 times in chapter 40.
Of course.
So can I just tell you, and Eric, I know I saw you on here. Somebody has to look it up right now. I was so busy doing this. I didn't do my hair. This is how I woke up. I'm just going to be honest. I barely got lipstick on because I was so focused. I was trying to look all this up really fast because I was so excited. And then I realized what time it was. And I was like, oh, I have to put clothes on. And yeah.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Right. So I'll tell you guys, I was like, quick, grab your scarf because you could always have this is not my jammy top. But if I was going to have to wear my jammy top, the plan B was this. So I could just do this.
Yes,
and then you
lovely.
wouldn't notice.
Look,
I'd be like,
no,
what?
You look
chic.
perfect.
This is
you
bougie.
are chic.
Like, look at me be bougie. So, you guys have to love us. But I want to say that if there's 7 times in chapter 39 and then 7 times in chapter 40, I guarantee that there is a chiasm in there. There's something in the middle of that we need to be drawn to. The first 7 instances refer to the completion of the manufacturing stage, and the second 7 refer to the actual assembly of the tabernacle. Isn't he so good that he doesn't just be like, well, go make that thing and yeah.
Let's see what you come up with.
He doesn't do that. He gives them instructions, and he does that. Yeah. He's giving us the instructions of our lives. If you had the opportunity to listen, I was privileged to co-host with Miriam this past week on Hebrew Nation Radio. And we were talking about this, and we were talking about the fact that he doesn't do that to us, right? These are all instructions, and he set this up all along. And we say this all the time. He tells the story, then he tells it again, then he tells it again, then he tells it again, right? Let me do it from this side. He's doing this all the time to us. He's doing this all the time. So fun. Sometimes this parsha is combined with the last parsha. Some people, so you feel like it's a little thingy, but it's not. But the word means, I'm scooch myself down. I have a bunch of different things. Brenda, do you have anything on that? On what the parsha actually means?
Oh yeah, accounts, inventory. It's kind of like I heard somebody say, and I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, thank you, I love you, that the root word paked is a bank teller. It's like a bank teller. Oh, yeah, so it's like this is okay, perfect. Here you go. Yes, here's this. You deposited this. Here you go. It's inventory. It's taking inventory. It's making sure everything is accounted for. And hello, can you start hearing the New Testament scriptures just rolling on you right now? All of them rolling on you right now. This is taking inventory. This is every little thing has a meaning. I mean, Charlie, not only does it have a meaning, but even the colors have a meaning. I mean, the colors have a meaning. The numbers have a meaning. It's like, you guys, that's why I felt a little, not overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is not the right word. But there's just so much. It's like, how many layers can you dig? Because no matter how many times you've read this, every time you read it, you're going to get another fragrance of another layer. Maybe you won't get the whole layer, but you're going to get a fragrance of another layer. So today, may I just say real quick, today when I was reading through this, two major things hit me again. Just this morning, I mean, not even earlier in the week, but just this morning, these two things hit me. Number one was the mixture of the colors and how colors reflect and absorb. So if they reflect or they absorb, right? And then the other thing was all of the fastenings, all of the combinations of things. The words are like, the word for fasten is the same root word as for brother. And the word for, what's that word gosh, now I'm getting the loop. The loop is the same word as Isha, female. And then the attachment or by the hands, it says the yods. It's like, what? He is telling us that this is so beautiful. All of the pieces are so intricate because remember, this is what Moshe saw in the presence of the Almighty in heaven, in the actual physical structure of where the Holy One is residing. He saw this, and this is being brought to earth. So all of these little tiny pieces, the nuts, the bolts, the screws, the inventory of every piece is so valuable. So ladies, Charlie and I say this to you all the time. Please don't let the word overwhelm you. If you grab this and you're reading the first chapter and you get to the second verse and all of a sudden you're stuck there the whole week, stay stuck there the whole week.
Yes.
Because this is not a race to get this done as fast as you can. This is about climbing. This is about us scaling this structure. This is about us going from piece to piece to piece, because you're not behind. I'm not behind. Charlie's not behind, but we're constantly having new things revealed to us, new pieces opened up to us. So we love that. But if the piece that's opened up to you is that you didn't even know that how important this was, hallelujah, we're celebrating with you. That is fantastic. Please don't approach this from the old mindset that you don't know enough. Approach this wide-eyed like a 2-year-old, like, wonder what this tastes like and stick it in your mouth. I wonder what this tastes like and stick it in your mouth. Chew on it for a while. Spit it out if you don't like it. If it's not something that you can't handle, go to the next thing. Grab something else, pretty color, shiny color. It's just, can you just be delighted in his word? Can you just be delighted in his word today? Honestly, it's so good. And I don't know, some of you may not have ever known that. Some of you have, maybe you've never had permission to just read the word and not have to know everything. How about that? What if you read it through and you don't understand any of it?
Because Brenda, wouldn't it be better for them to just realize that? I know you and I both went through a similar thing where it's almost like he took our memory away. I have to look 100%. In the index sometimes to, well, I'm using a Tree of Life Bible, so nothing's in the right place.
Exactly.
So you know how humbling that is for me? Good thing I'm not sitting next to you in church, because I'd be mortified that I have to sit next to you and I have to look up, like, where's Hebrews in this Bible? I can't even find Hebrews. And I'm like looking and I'm like, now where is that? I was trying to do that for the book of Esther the other day, and someone was talking to me. I'm like, that's in Esther. And I'm like, I have no idea where Esther is in this Bible. I've had this Bible for 8 years and I still can't find anything. I can't blame COVID brain. I can't blame I truly believe at one point when I'm praying about it, he was like, I'm not gonna let you remember everything, because that's pride.
Then it's you.
Instead, it's like I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that, Brenda. Every day I feel like that. I feel like a little kid, like, oh, what? That's why I love when you guys say something, because you're like, here, try this. Have you heard this before? No, tell me. I'm excited. I'm gonna try it. Mikey, he likes it. Remember the Life commercial? Does anyone old enough to know? Remember Mikey? He likes it.
Give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything.
Yeah, he likes it. In Hebrews 8:5, we get to read that this is a copy and the shadow of the heavenly, right?
Yeah.
So, and then he says later that greater and more perfect tabernacle, that's not made by hands. It's not of this creation. I was thinking, when you were saying that about the clasping, I saw Somber, I saw you do the clasp us thing. We have the loops,
Yes.
we have the men, we have the women, not one more important than
Yes.
the other. We're
Yes.
connected. We have
And the
all
hands of
the
everybody.
hands of everybody
Everybody.
holding together. Brenda,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, was all of this the heavenly? This is just an earthly representation, as because in heaven we collectively are the tabernacle.
Mhm.
We in Echad, in unity,
Yeah.
are the tabernacle.
That's right.
Because he says, and let me clarify, I'll say it first, because we do hear the verses is hyperlinking in my head, where 2 or 3 are gathered, I'm there in their midst.
Mhm.
Now, this is also because of coming up when they're coming, when they're trying to decide something, when there was a conflict,
Right.
that was for that. Okay. Because a lot of times I've heard this in church often, that, oh, there's 2 or 3 of us gathered, I'm there in their midst. And I used to always think, well, he's omnipresent, he's always in our midst. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
He's with us.
He's with me, even if you're not with me. So, okay. But I'm seeing it a little differently this morning, because when there's 2 of us and then 3 of us and we're connected,
Exactly.
his presence, then we've created a holy space.
Yep.
Can we
Isn't
sit in
that
that a minute?
so awesome?
Can we all just lock arms right now? Like,
Yeah.
right now we've created, I'm grabbing you, Somber, with your dough
We gotcha.
hands.
We gotcha. Everybody, we gotcha.
He's here in our midst.
Yeah,
Ladies
that's
on
right.
Facebook, we're holding on to you.
Yes, we are.
Ladies listening later,
Yes.
we're holding on to you. Let's
Yeah.
hold hands.
You're not alone. Yeah, you're part of a community. You're part of a great, you're part of a huge community, and not just this community. Trust me, we know we're not the only ones. You're part of the community, all across the ones that we don't even know.
Community.
The community. You really are.
Yeah.
That's right. And for me, this is so important, because so many times, ladies, so many times we go through life and we feel, we're busy. We're doing, we're getting things done. We're raising kids or whatever we're doing. We're working, whatever it is that we're doing, wherever you are in your life right now. And you can really feel disassociated from community, and you can really feel like you really are all alone and nobody understands what you're going through. But what he's showing us in the building of this tabernacle is that the tabernacle cannot be built by one person or one. This is totally about community, guys. This is totally about community. This is about the fact that I need you and you need me. We need, like Somber just did, we need to link, to connect the greater whole. This isn't about one of us individually. That's why we have to learn how to get along. We have to learn how to work through differences. We have to learn how to respect one another when we don't maybe agree 100% on something, and that's fine. That is fine. But can you stand in your place? Even if you disagree with me, can you stand in your place? Can you allow me to hook together with you? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
As can I, because it's not about me as an individual. It's not about Charlie as an individual. It's about all of us individually coming together.
Yeah.
This is really important. I think that if we can get this, we're going to be able to move through things a lot easier in the coming days. Last week I had something happen to me, and I grabbed my phone really quick and I called my friend Linda Millett, and she answered the phone. She said, "Hello," and I said, "Low wall, low wall." That's all I said. And she immediately went into prayer and she started praying. She didn't ask me any questions. She just started praying. And that is, you know what? How awesome is that? That's what we need to be doing one for another, right? If you have a low wall, let somebody know you have a low wall, which means in Nehemiah, when there was a low wall, the enemy could come in, right? And if you're there by yourself and the enemy is coming in, you have to sound the alarm, low wall. And then the people that are next to you on their properties come rushing forward and they protect you. They have their shovel and they have their sword. And that's us. Because this is what we're doing, guys. Right now, we're building the temple in the Torah portion. This is coming together. It's being erected right now. We need to be aware of one another, loving each other. Put your differences aside. My goodness, it's so not important.
And isn't that's what makes us different? Some of you ask the question, if you're watching on, if you're in our Facebook group, The Portion, they may ask a question, or there may be a response, and you're like, well, why did this get deleted? You guys are censoring. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have a delete button and we're not afraid to use it. So the reason, let me give you the heart behind that and not just my sass.
Please don't be offended. Please don't be offended.
Yeah, don't be offended. Ask me a question. Ask me why. Why do you do that?
Right.
But here's why. We're not like a regular Facebook group. We really are a ministry community. This is a discipleship community. So if you're in a discipleship ministry community, you're not going to, if your sister says, what does it mean if this, fill in the blank? And it could be something they're so new and controversial and you don't even know what that means. Or what if it means if, and I'm not going to pick something, fill in the blank. There's so many things.
Right. There's a billion things.
None of us are going to run in a discipleship community. I want you to constantly be thinking, if we were all sitting in a room around a table, sitting on the floor together, and one of our sisters raised her hand and said, what does it mean if this happens? We would not be going, well, we wouldn't go full on Miss Pagan police lady or Torah terrorist lady. We wouldn't start like bashing her in front of everyone and shaming her in front of everyone and be like, well, people don't do that because and you can hear the tone in a message in the portion. So I want you to know, we love you so much that we want to protect you. We're protecting the walls. This isn't just a Facebook group. So if that's why you're here, then maybe there's other groups that are really great places for you guys to banter, and you guys can sharpen each other's iron, and you can do all those things that I get great messages about. Sharpen away. If that's what your definition of sharpen is. We have other groups that, I'm part of most of those groups, and I watch that sharpening. As they're sharpening, it's so hard that they're stabbing everyone left and right, and there's blood
is flying.
Blood is flying. We want you to feel so safe that you can say, I don't know what this means. And you're going to have people coming in, and they may all not have the same, come from the same direction, but you can listen, think about yourself sitting in a circle, holding hands with different ladies. And you can say, I don't understand this. And you're like, well, let's look at the instruction manual. Instead of being all sassy pants, let's look at the instruction manual. And without shame, we can say, okay, because what's the goal? It's not you against me. It's us against the problem.
It's not your opinion. The goal is not for you to say, I'm right, you're wrong. That's not the goal.
Then that makes us separate. We're not holding hands then. If we're holding hands, it's you and me against an issue, not you against me.
Right.
And if we're holding hands and clasped, he's in our midst. We're creating a holy place.
Holy
and we're creating
space.
that holy space for him.
Yes.
And we're able then to ask the questions, and we can look up and try to find the answers and lovingly do it. So please know that's why this is different. This is why we're a different community, because we are truly a ministry space, and trying to help disciple you in a loving way.
And sometimes what happens is some of the ladies are so used to the way that other groups are run that the question doesn't even really get answered. The only thing that happens is doctrinal debates, and that's not the point. Is we really want to. Yeah, we really want to be able to answer the questions. So please keep asking the questions, because this is the thing. If you ask the questions, then we're like, Charlie and I are like, hey, you know what? We have not addressed that in quite some time, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to go back over that. Maybe we need to start, bringing that in. And a lot of the things are answered over in the Rooted Cafe, but not in the portion, only because, we only have
there's 2,000 women, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
So, but if you decide, you're like, if part of our ministry, you're like, I would like to go into like the inner chambers. I don't want to just stay in the outer courts. I want to come in I want to take a step in, so it's a little more intimate. Then what we do that, and I read someone said, safety requires boundaries. Well, that's what we're learning about building this tabernacle is requiring boundaries. And the boundaries could be as simple as, when you're talking about the fabrics, we have fabrics that they're sewn together, and they're sewn together. They're not, if you realize they're used to cover the outside of something. So if you're from the outside looking in or even the inside looking out, you're able to see things. And, you see things opposites. Have you ever woven something and it looks one way from one side and then it looks another way from the other side?
Yes.
That's a whole level y'all can look at. But these details are so important that he even had them sewn into the fabrics of his tabernacle.
Yeah.
The details are it's not just random. There's not just no reason for this. There's fun colors. Like you're talking about the wool, there's wool dyed purple, blue, red. You guys look up the words argamon, techelet, tolat shani, shesh. All those are the words. And I love that the linen is sheen. Isn't
that cool? Isn't that cool?
Brenda, can we talk about that? The linen that surrounded, it's the outside. There was linen that's on the outside, there's linen. And for those of you who live close to Northwest Arkansas, there's a plug for the up in Eureka Springs, the Passion Play. Now, I'm not going to say I've been to that Passion Play multiple times. Whatever, just take it for what it is. But they have a Holy Lands like tour, like you could pretend like you're in the Holy Lands, and it includes a life-size replica you can walk through the tabernacle. And I do recommend if you're up here to do that, just because standing in it, it gives you an understanding. But you see the linen. Can you imagine the sheen, the linen?
Okay, so sheen, the letter sheen is, it has a couple really amazing thoughts behind it. The first is in the hieroglyph, in the old ancient hieroglyph, the sheen is teeth, right? So there's teeth. So the letter sheen would mean consuming, because you're biting, you're ripping, you're tearing, you're chewing, you're consuming, right? And the other one is that sheen is the letter sheen. It's like this. Shh. It's the word for fire, esh, which is purification. Well, how do those two go together? They actually do, because when you are chomping with your teeth, you are bringing everything down to the smallest bits so that it can be consumed and it can function. That
bring nourishment,
function as nourishment to your body, right? But you have to break down the big pieces. You have to break everything down so that the nutrition, which is the goal of it, is the nutrition can come forth right into your body. Well, with fire purifies. What does sheen? It's the color white is purification. Sheen with two sheens. You have the consuming, the taking, the breaking it down into the smaller pieces so that you can consume it, you can eat it, you can swallow it, it can become nourishment to you. You have the fire that is consuming and purifying and taking away the dross. That's what your body does. It's taking everything that you're swallowing and it's going to put it into the places where it needs to nourish your body, right? Some of it you're going to get rid of, right? Some of it is going to do all the other things it does. Charlie can tell you about that.
And isn't that exactly what's happening with these linen curtains, these drapes? That's exactly as they're blowing. I mean, I've walked through a life-size replica
100%.
As they're blowing. Think of it, Brenda, everything you said, what's happening? Some of the stuff was put on the altar. Some of the waste was taken out.
Yep.
Truly, that's exactly what's happening. Do you see the picture, you guys?
Yeah. So these letters, isn't that beautiful, Charlie? Because these two sheens are next to each other and they could actually be opposing each other, but they're opposing and they're strengthening and they're doing their function. And the letter sheen is just beautiful. It is representative of the actual presence of the Almighty, the fire, because he is the fire, right? So sheen represents his name, Shem. It represents the name of the Holy One, and it represents fire, and it represents purification. And these are the things that this letter is representing. So when you have a word with two of them in there, ooh, that's what it's doing. And white is the color of linen, and it's a natural color. It's not a bleached color. It's a natural color because it's purified. Isn't that cool? It's not dyed. It's purified. The product, the linen, the wool, or whatever it is that's made is purified, and that's the white comes out naturally. It's not dyed. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I love it. And I just imagine the wind blowing through. And as those curtains, then, I mean, I saw it in Oceanside down in San Diego County, and the wind would come up and it would start flapping. These these curtains or these drapes, these that protected all around the outside, and they had these beautiful like brass tops, and it was just beautiful. And as the wind is like stirring everything, I was like, wow, it's like you're seeing the sheen, you're seeing the fire being,
Yes,
so you're seeing that happening.
exactly.
You're
And
seeing
it's blowing.
it's blowing. I mean, seriously, you could just sit in this in just a while, just in the
Yeah.
linen that surrounded this tabernacle, the linen
Yeah.
that surrounded this tent of
Yeah.
meeting. It's
Yeah.
surrounding everything.
Yeah.
And he's telling you already, just in that detail, that sheen, he's blowing the winds of fire in there. He's blowing purification in there to you.
Yes.
It's a place where things are processed. It's a place where he is, when you see all the connections now, like Brenda was talking about the gold being purified and the dross is taken off, right?
Mhm.
Is it not a coincidence that where did David build the first tabernacle? What was it on top of? A threshing floor, a place where things are processed, where wheat is beat down and processed and wiped away. Is that correct?
Mhm.
I mean, on top of it, it's not a coincidence that is where the temple first temple was built, was on top of this threshing floor, right?
Of course.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. And can I just say one more thing? Brad Scott, if you guys want to read a good book, it's not on Amazon, Charlie. But if we can get it, I don't know if we can get it outside of Amazon. Do we still can't?
Just
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. So this is Brad Scott's book, and it's called The Shadow of Heavenly Things, and it talks about all of the pieces of the tabernacle. And he, Dr. Dye, and he did a video series, and it's on YouTube for free, ladies. And wow, the detail and the intricacy is so beautiful. But one of the things that he mentioned, I believe it was him that mentioned it, is that the colors blue, which is grace and righteousness, and the color scarlet, which is the color of redemption, right? When those two colors get mixed together, you get purple, right? And purple is the color of Messiah, royalty. And I love the inner workings of that, all of these things being put together to create something brand new. So what happens with blue when the grace and righteousness of Messiah covers you and his redemption covers you, then you become like Messiah. You become like Messiah.
A royal priesthood.
A royal Yeah, a royal priest. This is what he's talking about. He's bringing all these things together. You need grace and righteousness, and you need redemption. And those things put together make purple. So does that make sense? Am I saying that so that it makes sense, Charlie?
It makes absolute perfect sense. And isn't it fun too? I mean, this can be spun so many ways, because you look at, it wasn't all one color. There was diversity. There was diversity. It was multiple colors.
Diversity.
Totally diversity in there, all the things woven together. It was so beautiful. The red, the white, the blue, the purple, it was all woven. I mean, things were woven together to show the unity. I was listening to a teaching, and the guy was saying that these were the walls to the entrance, right? And it was like, what could it possibly be? He was saying, could it possibly be that these were like the colors of the rainbow? A reminder that you have this promise that was happened, and it was a way to also remind them of this as they looked at it, not for him to see it, but for us to see it, to say, this is a reminder of the covenant that I made for you. I'm continuing on this covenant. I mean, there's so many dimensionalities of all of this. Yeah.
I love that, Charlie, because we need to be reminded to go back to the basics every time, especially when we're learning something really deep that has so many layers like this.
Yes.
If we can learn to go back to the basics, like step back and look at the overview. And the beauty of it is that these colors are all part of the rainbow, like Charlie said, and the rainbow was that covenant that God made with us, and his covenants never end. And he's saying, I'm gonna take care of you. I am going to protect you. I'm here for you. Talk about us needing that, especially in this day and age right now. Well, always. There's going to be another this day and age now. but we really need to know his comfort. We need to know that he will always be there for us. And that's the whole thing with his covenants, is that he is guaranteeing with the implement of his name. His name is saying, I've put my name on this, and I absolutely will take care of this. His word never is returned void. Ever.
Can we put a bookmark on this,
it.
Brenda? Can we put a bookmark on this? Because I want to think about this when we come back, when we get to in Leviticus about blending fabrics. Because here we see wool and linen. Are they blended or not? Like, I think that the linen was not necessarily, it was the wool that was woven together, and the linen was on the outside. So someone look at that for me. But it'll be interesting to see the way that is. We have blending of colors. We see them woven together.
Yeah, but they're still individual.
They're still individual. But let's look at, with linen, we've talked about the frequencies of those colors. I mean, let's get woo-woo. Can we get woo-woo from it? Hey,
let's totally get woo-woo.
We're going to get woo-woo.
Yeah.
So there's frequencies in these fabrics. Like linen and wool have certain frequencies, and linen's frequency is the highest frequency for healing. That's why many of you have gone to, I'm only wearing linen because, bless your heart. Cause I'm go you, but I mean, linen has this high frequency of healing. Of course it does. It's a sheen. Imagine that linen, that frequency is flowing through your body all the time. The healing frequency of the fire. Like, really? Wow. What are you reading? I see you reading.
I was just like, there's so many comments.
You're doing your reading thing. You're doing.
There's so many. I'm sorry. Come on. I need Ava to heal my eyeballs.
She's too cute. She's too cute. Everyone tell her how cute she is.
I have trifocals, guys. I'm trying to read.
Where are you? Right? What are you doing? Where are you at?
Stop looking up my nose.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
I love this whole thing. This whole time we've been talking about the tabernacle, and we will kind of go through it again later a little bit, but it is really the honeymoon suite, isn't it? This is our honeymoon suite.
It really is. This is our place where he's been like, okay, so let's start thinking about some scriptures, right? So the father is having the son build a place for the ceremony, right? So there's this place that's going to be built for us to dwell in so that we are in unity with him in a whole new way. This whole thing with the tabernacle being built, it's so beautiful. There's so many things, Charlie, that are happening, because one of the best things for me in all of this happening right now, not only is when it's completed, the future of it, the completion of it, right? But in the midst of it being made, we are learning to work together. We are learning to stand side by side. We are learning that two boards pushing up against each other, they're not fighting for preeminence. They're not fighting for, I'm a bigger board or a better board than you. They're just pushing up against each other to hold each other up and to make sure that they are stronger together. Right. And then everything that's covering, and that's unity, guys. That's unity. I'm sorry, but it's just hitting me so hard right now.
But it's the mobile creation story. There was unity.
It is.
The two became one.
Of course.
So of course he's pulling us all together in unity to become one. And he's showing us this is how we do it, by coming to this place where we're clasping together, and not necessarily in a place.
No. Yeah.
In a place. Of course.
No.
And again, I want to just, for those of you, when we're saying not to forsake the gathering together, I want to remind you that is in reference to the feasts. However, you need to be together. You need to go and touch and meet each other and encourage one another and greet each other and hug each other and have that connection. You need to hug and greet each other with a kiss, because you need to clasp together physically. You need to feel that connection, but knowing that, that gathering together, we really need to focus on, we want to be gathering at the feast. We want to be gathering, finding spots. Who's doing the feasts around you? Where can you go to do it? Can you invite somebody to your house? You don't know how to do it? Who cares? I mean, most of us have our first time stories, and you will all laugh. They're funny First Shabbat stories, inviting someone to your house for Shabbat. First, first, we have great stories about this. First stories of trying to do Passover by the time. Many of you have heard my Passover story with all of us. We had no idea what to do. And we just had our iPads and we're going through the whole thing, the Haggadah by ourselves, like reading it around the table. And we didn't know you're supposed to use the little glasses of wine. So we were, by the time we got to the end, it was, yeah, best. It was funny, but I'm going to tell you, the Holy Spirit came in. He was in our midst. He was at our altar, at our table. He came in, and all of us were so blessed. It's a memory that we will never, ever forget.
Never.
We laughed, we cried. It was hysterical. You guys do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it. Just do it anyway. This is, we're going to be a kingdom of priests. And what he did is he put this tabernacle in the midst of the people. He didn't put it on the outside. So they had to trek to it, because up on a hill somewhere. So they were gonna have to walk out and then go up to it. He didn't do that. He put it in their midst. That's why he was saying, I'm in your midst. He put it in there so that we could watch these priests doing their job all day long. We could watch what they were doing, no matter where we were.
Agreed.
From some vantage point. You could see what was happening. It was a busy place. There was a lot of guts and blood. There was things, people coming and going. You could watch how the priests were cleaning up. You could watch how they were operating, because then he was calling you now to be a kingdom of priests as a whole. So he loved us so much. He put them in front of us to say, this is how you do it. Right. So he's walking this out. We get to and then we see Yeshua come down, the word, HaTorah, become flesh, and he dwelt among them, in the midst of them. He tabernacled. If some of your versions will say, he tabernacled amongst them. He came in and he was saying, this is how you do it. This is how you walk this out. This is how you do it, because he's called us to all be. It is not impossible. These were regular people. And there were women. Remember, we saw that there were women at the door. There were women at the entryway working.
Right.
They were the ones that donated their mirrors. There was men, there was women, there was people all working. It was busy. They were all helping the community. So as Brenda was saying earlier, the whole Torah is all about bringing us back to community and bringing us back to the garden and talking to our generations. It's not about me, myself, and I.
No. It's
about, how is this going to affect my great-grandchildren? How will this decision bless or take away? How will this, can I say, Brenda, today, my husband and I both were talking on the phone, and I was reading and showing him pictures of something. I was weeping. And one of you, I apologize, I don't remember your name right now, but one of you shared some pictures of your little boy holding on. They were unpacking, and he saw his little stuffed animal, and he grabbed his Gracie book and he was kissing it, and he wouldn't let it go. And so he's watching his little Paw Patrol and holding onto his Gracie book and his little thing. And she was saying how he would open it and see Moshe, the picture of Moses, and start kissing it.
Oh.
He's not even 2.
Oh.
And she posted on the portion, she posted the pictures of that. I was a mess. That's a generational effect. That little boy, that's in his DNA. We need to ignite those things in our children. It's not all about you. Right. We're so focused on, what are people going to say about me? Who cares? It's not about you. It's about us. It's about all of us.
Right.
Don't hide your talent. Don't stand before the Father and say, well, thanks for giving that to me. I hid it because I didn't want anyone to steal it and ruin it. He's going to say, I gave that to you to give to the nations for your generation, for your 4th and 5th and thousands of generations. You didn't release it. So I want to encourage you for that. So thank you for whoever posted that. That literally made my morning. And my husband, we were both weeping on the phone. He's down getting our stuff in Hot Springs, weeping, just doing that. And
so beautiful.
Thank you for that.
One of the other things, that's precious. One of the other things, Charlie, that you're always so good about sharing about the mirrors. And I was thinking about this just before we went live with the mirror. And there's 2 things that happen when you look into a mirror, because the mirrors were used to make the lavers, correct? Am I right? Am I right in that? The mirrors were,
it covered the bowl. Yeah, covered the
bowl, the washing
Mm-hmm.
bowl. Okay. Where the water was. But when you looked into it, you saw a reflection of yourself. Well, there's 2 things that happen when you see a reflection of yourself. You can say, oh, look at how beautiful I am. Or you can say, oh, wait a minute. this is not good.
But it's interesting. They put that was after they had already gone to the altar. And now
Yeah.
they're saying they're new creation. They're
Yeah.
a new,
Yeah.
and that, when I was going through that, I think we talked about is now, doesn't 1 Corinthians 13, I see through
Yep.
a glass darkly. I look through my polished bronze mirror darkly, but then
Yeah.
face to face. Now I'm going face to face. I'm going to look in the water.
Yes.
The water. I'm going to
Yeah.
look into this that's covered with this old mirror that used to be this bronze thing.
Mhm.
After I've submitted everything at the altar, and now
Mhm.
I'm ready to go to the next level, and I'm
Yeah.
looking into this reflection. It's not the same reflection.
Mm-mm. And it's not to condemn you.
No, I see
It's-
now, because
it-
I've
it's
already
n-
gone through the sanctification process. I've already
Exactly.
given up my animals and my birds and my ox.
Right.
Now I'm
Right.
going to the next level, and I'm
No.
cleaned, and now I'm cleaning all that off of me in the
Yeah.
water. And as I do that to wash my hands and feet, I
Mhm.
see myself as a new
Mhm.
creation.
Mhm.
I see
And if you
face to
see
face.
anything that isn't new, that isn't yet, that's when it's taken care of. You get it washed off, right? If you
Yeah,
see a smudge, you wash it off.
exactly.
And it's not condemned. You're not being
No.
condemned. It's that glory to glory. You're being changed into his likeness and image. So if there's something that pops up, deal with it right then. Boom, done. Wash it off. Deal with it. Let's go. Oh, ladies.
You know, we see these priests, and we're watching them through this whole book of Exodus, and how they're supposed to do things. And as we go into Leviticus, it's literally the priest manual. So that's why we want you to embrace this as we leave Exodus, embracing this, because it's going to be your manual. It would have been the instructions. It would have been carried along with them. As the new priest would come up, they would have been like, here's the book. Here's what you got to read. Children are taught this. The first book that they read is Leviticus. Why? Because they're a kingdom of priests. Right. Because they need to understand how to process things. And this is my jam. I love this. This isn't about killing animals. This isn't about this. This is about bearing one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. This is Galatians 6:2. That's what elects. This is our commandment. This is what we should have. This is who we are. We are the ones who bear one another's burdens. I help you with the altar, and don't scream to everyone, you're not going to believe the giant cow she had to do today. Look how dirty I am. I had to sit at the altar with her with all the poop and all the stuff. You're not going to believe it. We don't do that. We process it. We take it out, the ashes out. We change our clothes, and then beauty for ashes. We take all those linen garments we were wearing. They get cut up and they get burned to bring light to the menorah. That's the beauty for ashes. That's what we get to do. This isn't an old story. This is a now story.
Yes. And I love that, because we get to help each other process things. We're
of these commissioned to put the world back together.
We are commissioned. This is us loving each other, caring for each other, loving our neighbor as ourself. This is restoring the world. This is getting things ready. We want Messiah to come back, don't we? Let's get busy. we have things to do. And please understand, guys, come on. Doing it is, the reason that we do things is because of his goodness and his grace and his mercy to us. Amen. It's not to earn anything. We're not earning anything. We're doing things. We're working. We're putting our hands to the plow, because this is what we get to do. We've been given talents. We need to use them. We've been given talents that are required for us to use. If we don't use them, remember what happens? Where is that scripture? In Corinth, I don't remember. It's in someplace in the New Testament. It's in the 10 talents. If you don't use the talents, they get given to somebody who will use them. I never understood that before. It's so important. In my young years, I didn't understand that at all. I thought, well, that's not nice. Take it away from the one who had the least. Well, it's because if you don't use what you're have been given, then you're not seeing it as valuable. You are not honoring it. The talents and the things that he has given to you, in your personality, the things that that you were created to do, you need to be doing those things. That's what he's given you to do. That's how you're building. That's how you're blessing and beautifying the world. That's how you are leaving the fragrance of Messiah everywhere you go. That's what this is about. So when we say, hurry, get busy, pull up your big girl panties, let's go. We've got things to do. It's not that we're trying to teach you to operate in works alone. Oh, No, what we're trying to do is say, awaken, arise. You've been
Yes.
gifted. You've been given things. Look at this beautiful in Exodus, that in Pekudei, look at how beautiful this is. The temple's being risen up. How are we going to operate in that? The temple's going to be built. Are we going to operate in it? We need to be on point.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Because the glory is going to fill it in just a moment when the temple gets
Exactly.
raised up.
We're
The
going to hit
glory
this.
is going to come down, and we need to have been washing our faces.
Yeah.
We need to have been stretched, and we need to have been, working to get to where we're at. We need to have been letting things go. We need to be putting on the proper garments. These are all the things. It's because he loves us, right, Charlie? I just
It's so
love
exciting.
it.
And I'm going to
is.
skip over what I was going to say because I want to hit the
Sorry.
Shekinah. Let's hit it. It's in Exodus 40:34. Let's hit that because you did it. And then we're going to go back and I want to talk about the new moon and the new month. I want to just mention it.
The sheen.
Exactly. The Shekinah. Exodus 40:34. And we have to know that word Shekinah, it's derived from the word shakan. Okay. Brenda, do you have any, I know you hate when I say it. I know you don't hate it, but I don't do this too often. I know you don't hate it. You actually love it. The word shakan is a shin. Is it a het and a nun sofit, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. You let me know. Shin, het.
I don't even see it. So
this is a het. Is this a het? This is
a cough.
Cough. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A sheen, a cough, and a nun sofit.
Okay.
It's shakan. Let me look it up on Blue Letter Bible while y'all are doing this. And then Brenda, if we can talk about that, because the Shekinah, I'm going to read out of this is actually in Unrolling the Scroll in Torah's Club. And he said the Hebrew word for Shekinah is derived from the verb shakan, which means to dwell. The word that our English Bibles regularly translate as tabernacle, which we just said. And we said, when Yeshua came, he came to Shekinah, to shakan with us, to dwell. The word that our English Bibles translates as tabernacle is a Hebrew word built from the same verbal root, mishkan, a word that means a dwelling place. The Shekinah is God's dwelling presence, that aspect of God that takes up residence on the earth. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that's so good.
And just before the destruction of Jerusalem, the prophet Ezekiel saw a vision of the Shekinah of God leaving the temple in the presence of his holy cherubim. In the book of Acts, the Shekinah returned to the temple with the sound of the rushing wind and settled on the disciples. And remember, 3,000 were added. Think about, we were talking about the unity, the sheen. If the Shekinah if he's dwelling, why did he come during Shavuot? Why did he come on Pentecost when they were gathered together in one accord, in Achad? They were gathered, they were locking arms, men and women. They were functioning as a tabernacle, and his flames of fire came upon them, just like what's happening.
Yes. And the sheen, okay, we got the fire, the presence of God, the manifest presence of God. It is powerful and it is purifying, and it is burning up the things that are not of value, but it's purifying and strengthening the things that are, right? The Shekinah. And then the cough is think of it as the wings of the cherubim. It's the wings. It's the fluttering of the wings. It is the moving. So his fire is going and the wings are moving it. It's also a hand that's cupped. Okay. So it's a giving. So it's bringing forth, right? But think of the birds that are flapping. They're moving the air. That's what's happening with the Shekinah. The sheen is the fire is blowing, and the cup of the cough is blowing it out to what? The nun sofit is the image of the air, the ultimate air, Messiah Yeshua. Nun sofit, Messiah Yeshua. So it is the dwelling, and it's the offering up. It's the offering up of, it's like the presence of God is saying, here's Messiah. And then they're dwelling together. So it's the Father, and it's Messiah, and it's the Spirit, his presence dwelling, it's encircling us, and he's offering this to us. So the cough are the hands that go like this. I don't know if you can see that, like that. but they're also the wings. They're also the wings of the cherubim.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because they move the air. So when the voice of the Father speaks, the cherubim or the cherubim or the angels, whatever, their wings are flapping, and it pushes the voice to the people. It moves the air to bring it to us. They're messengers, right? So they're moving it to us. So anyway, that's just a little thing. Beauty for ashes, somebody said.
So beautiful. Okay, so I am going to share something. I'm going to share my screen, Brenda, because this is one of those times when you need to check everything. So we're checking everything.
Let's check.
As I was reading.
Oh, thank you, because I didn't know what the letters were.
No, this isn't even this. I pulled it up, and I probably should go back so I can show y'all those of you watching. What I did is, let me go to the beginning. Is I actually put in the scripture verse. Blue Letter Bible, I wrote the verse, I went to tools, and Exodus 30, then the cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Okay, so you see here, then, a cloud, Anan, Kasa, Ohel, Moed, Kabod, what?
Kavod.
Kavod, that's the glory.
Glory.
So we say, of the Lord filled the tabernacle. So here's what's filled. This is what that verse actually says as far as what it filled the tabernacle. So we teach you guys good hermeneutics, good study habit is you want to go to the root word. So I keep going to the root to say, where is this coming from? And
right. What's the action?
All the English.
The root is the action.
Yeah. You go scroll past all the English. And this is how it's talking about the glory, what filled to be heavy. So we think about when you're just feeling the heaviness, like it's being weighted, the weight of his presence, the weight of his presence.
Honor. Weight is honor. Yeah.
Just wanted to share like that came through, just looking up that verse specifically on that. So, beautiful. Brenda, you and I are new kind of to this whole new moon shenanigans.
Yeah, we are.
So I'm going to see, here we go. I
know nothing.
I remember just, it's only been just maybe 2 years now that we heard about ladies who actually gather for these new moon services. And in our minds, we envisioned women in white linen dresses dancing around a fire with like Debbie, I see you're here. Debbie, especially you with your hair flowing, and you have your
barefoot,
have your we have your little wreath of flowers around your hair, and you're all doing dances around a fire. We're like, okay, this seems crazy and pagan. Like, what are you? That was our visual. No one told us that. That is not what happens. Let me clarify. But we were giggling. Like, that's our secret, not so secret joke now, is that this is probably happening, that these women are doing like fire dances or something. But I got invited to one, and I went to in Tennessee. And so I had the privilege of going to Deborah Flanagan's house. And so Keisha was there, Debbie was there, and Simi was there. All these women, amazing women were there. Cinnamon, I got to meet you in person, hug on you. All these women were there. And I come in and I was like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't even know what's going to happen. It was beautiful. They worshiped together. They prayed for one another, and they ate. And it was like, there was
sacrifices.
They did go out to see the sliver of the moon, and they blew a shofar.
Oh,
that was beautiful. So that's what happened. So I was like, is this even a thing? I didn't even know people did. So I've had a few of you ask about it. And I thought, Brenda, we can't be remiss if we're calling ourselves discipleship program to actually talk about this for a minute, because it is mentioned here in a sense. It's mentioned in verses, I will say Exodus 40:17. It says, now in the first month of the new year, on the first day of the month, the tabernacle was erected. So that, the biblical calendar is based on, now and many of you are on different calendars.
Right.
That's another day.
Right.
But for the most part, if I'm correct, most of us all still agree that it's based on a new moon. The new moon is what starts the month. Now, if you're on a different month, whatever, but the moon, sighting of that moon, that crescent, that moon, when you see that new moon, that's the first of the new Hebrew month, not our Gregorian calendars. Right. And I believe, is it tomorrow? Is it tonight? Tomorrow night? Help me, somebody.
Tonight, because it wasn't seen yesterday in Israel.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking, there's a thing here. So on my thingy, we're in Adar 2. It's a leap year. Right. It's a Hebrew leap year. So some of us, we're all catching up with each other now because we're on a leap year, but we're on a leap year. Adar 2 is the name. Don't look at Sombra.
Shh, quiet. Shh.
So here's the thing. I encourage you, ladies, to gather with your families. You don't have to just do all women, and you don't have to dress in white, but you can get
And you
together.
can wear shoes if you choose.
And you can wear shoes. But I want you to get together and do this, because the new moon, this is going to start the month of Nisan when this is going to be happening in this story. It's going to be starting the month of Nisan. And again, I'm going to be reading because I feel like they did a better job, and I don't have to take credit for it. It marks the beginning of a new year. When we come up on Nisan, during this story, it's during this, it's all, isn't it interesting that this is all happening? They're ready to take off. This is all going on exactly when the month of Nisan starts, which is actually when Passover started at the same time, right? It marks the beginning of a new year according to the agricultural reckoning. It's the month of springtime, the month of new growth. It's the month of Passover and the festival of unleavened bread, and the annual rehearsal of Israel's salvation from Egypt. The new moon uniquely symbolizes the experience of being born again. The Jewish prayer speaks of us being one day renewed like the moon. Just as a tabernacle was assembled on the first day of the first month, when a person is born again, he is made a new creation, a habitation for the Spirit of God. Just as Moshe received the instructions for the sacrifices and the priesthood on the first day, the new believer is ready to receive the instruction of God, learn to worship him, and enter into his holy priesthood of believers. Just as the altar was dedicated on the first day of the first month by the prince of the tribe of Judah, the new believer is dedicated by the gift of Messiah, the prince of the tribe of Judah. So celebrating the new moon, why do we honor this? Well, it's a renewal. And Brenda, we've had some beautiful understandings of that. What's kind of been your experience? Like, what have you learned now is be born again, like the new moon? What is?
So one of the things that this week in studying the letter Tav, one of the things is that the number 4 means that number 4 is the day of creation, when the sun and the moon and the stars are all put in the sky, and they are set there specifically for a purpose. And the purpose is to rule and reign, the dominion over the land. So the stars, the light of the stars and the sun and the moon, the light of that is comes onto the land. And I was thinking, Charlie, with all of this, that in the ancient days when this was being written, there wasn't electricity. So at nighttime, the moon was such a, like now we don't even notice it because we have lights on in our house all day. We can have lights on at 3 o'clock in the morning or at midnight, and it's just
or light
bright.
pollution.
Exactly.
You go outside, you can't even see the stars. Most of us.
Yes, and also in our homes, it's fake light. It's not authentic light in the sense of what's coming. But that the moon, the light that the moon gives off, has all kinds of nutritional value to the soil and to plants. The light of the moon does all kinds of wonderful things to the earth. It's valuable. And we don't notice that because we're in our homes and we have lights on. So we're not seeing that. But when we celebrate the new moon, when we celebrate the fact that it's a new month and you're being born again, and the light of Yeshua is filling you up, and it's new and fresh every month, we're also celebrating that every Shabbat. So we get it every week, we get it every month, and then we get the seasons, we get all of the festivals. It's a continuing teaching for us to be born again, washed clean, starting fresh, do over. It's a do over every month. It's a brand new month every month. It's a do over. You're being fresh and new, like you're just coming forth all over again. Ladies, you can experience that every month, but it also reminds us that a woman's body every month, while she is menstruating, this is a cleansing and then a regeneration of a new womb, basically, that's being prepared to house life, right? Every month, the old goes out And then the new is there every month, just like the new moon. It's in creation. It's in the sun, the moon, and the stars. It's all around us if we just open our eyes and look at it. It's really beautiful. I don't even know if that
no, I
answered
think
your
it's so
question, but
beautiful. And what happens with us is that Brenda, if you think of our womb, what's
yes,
happening, and I'm going to speak for anyone. I was not fit for human consumption this week. I called Debbie Frenick. I'm like, girl, no, I am not fit for human consumption. I could feel my flesh just, I mean, women, it's all women here. I could feel it sloughing away, and I could feel it getting ready to just be all the old to come off, because it was showing up. It was like, all those things. Like I was
emotions, girls, and everything.
We call it premenstrual, but most of us are on those cycles, those 28-day cycles, like a moon cycle. Our bodies should. Now, the reason many of you may not be on that cycle with their moon, like, I don't know, but now I no longer have a menstrual cycle, but for those of you who still do, many of you will notice that you are on the cycle with the moon. If you're like, oh my gosh, I just started last night, or I'm going to start tomorrow, I've been cramping, my back hurts. You should be on that. If you're not on that cycle, you probably work under a lot of incandescent lighting. You have a lot of different lighting, and you're not, that will sometimes mess that system up. And then all of you in a working place under those lights, you'll get in unity, if you've noticed that with your women. But we should all kind of be in unity with our menstrual cycles. We used to be. That's how, so that, can you imagine the whole town down, except for those that are the young girls and the old girls, but all of the women who are menstruating, they're all down, like being.
That's where the men go fishing.
The men all went, all the men said, let's go scouting out for some,
go hunting.
Let's go hunting.
Let's go get some deer.
So what was a really great thing is the women would get to that, they would be set apart, and we, because it wasn't a punishment. It was because it was a time to be honored. I mean, it was for the safety of everyone. I'm sure in my house, I needed to be set apart. I needed to be outside the tabernacle. I was like, unclean. There's times when our womb even does. It's
absolutely
it's dark.
That's how we're created.
It's how we're created. You guys think about it. It's dark.
Slough.
It's dark, and it's a dark place. And then all of a sudden it sloughs off again, and it starts preparing for new life. Your womb starts preparing for new life again. And then new life gets to be born.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden it starts rebuilding itself. You get it's a new thing starts happening.
Yeah.
Isn't it when you hear, behold, I do a new thing? It's a new thing that comes up. It's renewed. It's not a New Testament.
Right.
It's the Brit Hadashah, the renewed testament.
Exactly.
He renewed a thing.
That's right.
It's not brand new. It's just new. Like your womb isn't new. It's not a new moon. It's the same moon. It's a renewed moon.
Right. That's like something being completed, guys.
Yeah.
It's not completed and done away with. It's completed so that it functions. Now let's go from there. So the womb, when it sheds and it releases and it lets go, it's because there's a purpose for it to be prepared to bring forth new life. All of you ladies who have young girls that are getting ready to start their cycles, isn't this exciting that you get to share with them that, most of us didn't have this teaching when we were young. A lot of you did, and I'm so grateful for that. I personally didn't. I didn't get any teaching at all.
I got a packet from my teacher. I got a little thing my teacher gave me a little bad thing that had a pad in it and had like some kind of pamphlet. I don't know. And a bar of soap. I think some little soap. Like, keep it clean, girl. And then you get a little pad. Like, I didn't get told these things.
No,
this is beautiful.
But we get to teach our daughters and our granddaughters that they are made in the image of Elohim. They are made in the image of God. And every month there is newness and a preparation for life again, every single month. And sometimes the preparation is difficult and hard. And sometimes you have cramps, and sometimes it's, and sometimes, you know what, you get riled up in all of it. But the good thing is that it is all going to slough off, and then, then you're back to normal and you're being prepared. And then you start getting ready for life to come forth. And even though you do that for years prior to having a baby, you have that monthly cycle. It's all preparation. So guys, please understand, not knowing things does not mean that you're stupid. Not knowing things doesn't mean that you're behind. It just means that you're in process. We're all in process. When a little girl is having her period at 12, it doesn't mean that she's going to have a baby next month. It means
No.
that she's in process. She's
Oh,
learning
good.
how to do this, right? So whatever we're doing, let's learn how to do it. It's not that we're behind, it's that we're in the process. We're all in the process.
And some of us are late. I know, like my mother didn't
Right.
start menstruating until she was about 16.
Mhm.
And it's for those of you who are in the cafe, you need to go to in our discipleship group, you want to go over to the cafe calls, and we have our webinar call, and I believe Sambra let me know, she did a teaching on the nida, the women's menstrual cycle.
Beautiful. Oh, it was
It was
beautiful.
beautiful. It was
Yes.
beautiful. So I encourage you to
Yeah.
go watch that. We have every month in our discipleship program, we have a new moon call. Erica Deneve, she does an amazing job about the renewed heart. It is beautiful. Her calls are
Yeah.
beautiful.
Every month. It's so lovely. Guys, with this, with the tabernacle, I just want to say that the glory of God filling the tabernacle, which is the last part before we go into our favorite book, the book of Leviticus, the glory of God, that weightiness, his holiness, even when you're on your cycle, or if you've stopped having your cycle, even on Shabbat, right? The weight and the glory, the heaviness of his presence, that is what fills the temple. And remember, we are the temple of the Holy One. We are the walking temples. We're the walking living temples, because there isn't a temple right now, an actual physical temple right now, but we are physical temples of his Holy Spirit, of his dwelling within us. And the weight of his glory should be upon us. So all of this chapter, all of these chapters that we've been reading in the book of Exodus, they're all valuable. We may not understand them all completely, totally. None of us ever will, because this is the heartbeat of God. He's, above, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Okay.
If you tell me you
He
know
says,
everything, we can't be friends.
we can't be friends. Sorry. That is the litmus test.
If
you know
tell
everything,
me, if you tell me, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed this year, I thought I knew, I don't know anything, then we're best friends now.
Let's go. Yeah. And so the weight we want this week, we want the weight of his glory to rest upon you. This is the new month starting. The new month is starting. It's fresh and new, which means that the light is the tiniest little bit of light, right? But it's going to start growing. And in 2 weeks, it's going to be a full moon, and outside it's going to be beautiful and bright and shiny. But right now it's going to be the little, maybe
so
you're
good.
seeing dimly. It's okay. It's the process. And we get to learn this month after month after month. So please, one of the things that we really want to stress to you is, please don't approach this as if you don't know anything and you're stupid and you can't get it and all. Just relax, because he's God and we're not. And he's going to rest on you and bless you. And we pray that his spirit blows on you and blows through you. And sister, you've got a beautiful fragrance, and we need your fragrance. So,
and he will redeem that time, right, Brenda? We've seen it. We've seen him redeem the time. Like, man, a lot of you were saying, why didn't I ever learn this? Why didn't someone teach me this?
Don't be
I've been in church my whole life.
And
thank you for those of you who've reached out. I've enjoyed our identity calls. They have been amazing. Some of you have reached out and said, I'm having an identity crisis because this is who I thought I was supposed to be. And I had taken on an identity, maybe in a church situation. And now the Father's maybe pulled you out of that, or he's doing something different. And you're like, I don't understand. I'm having an identity crisis. I really have enjoyed those calls the last couple of weeks. And so thank you for those who have, I've really enjoyed talking to you, and some of you still coming up that we have unscheduled. So I love that. Has been amazing. I love getting to know you. Let me know if you need, give you access to my calendar. You can go in there and pick a time that works for you, and have a little 15-20 minute coffee chat, and we can just kind of get to know each other. I just adore that. And Brenda, that was so good. I want you to write that. You need to write that out. That was beautiful.
Okay.
That was beautiful. About who knew about our womb and how it is preparing a place for his presence. Because when life is sparked in us, it's his presence. A divine spark is we as women get to create the space We get to create the space.
Yeah. And this also, can I just say, I don't want to leave the boys out.
No.
I know, but listen, if you've got young boys and they're coming into puberty, it is an exciting time for them as well.
That's good.
Because what's happening inside of their bodies is God is creating with them the ability to have seed that will produce life. They're having the same thing. It's just on a different, it's in a different way, but it's still, that's happening to them. And all of the things that they're going through, and all of a sudden they're, all of their emotions are through the roof, and their strength is and they're growing, and you can't keep clothes on them because they keep getting taller,
And they're hairy.
their voice changes, and all of a sudden they got hair. I have 3 boys. So it's like, where'd that hair come from? What? Wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. But all of that's happening for them too. It is an exciting time. This is supposed to be celebrated. That's why in the Jewish culture, which is really awesome, that boys and girls are bat mitzvahed, and bar mitzvahed, because they're coming into this place of their life where they are being able to create life. They are now going to become life givers, not just life takers. They're not just going to be suckling. They're going to be giving life. So it's very important that we honor that in our young men and in our young women, and that we honor it, and we bless them, and we help them get through this time. And this is it's just a beautiful time. And every month it's new for them too. So we just want to bless them, and we're not leaving the boys out. And
no, wouldn't it be great, Brenda, if we all incorporated these in our homes and our fellowships, that we bring the kids together, not in a mixed group, but them separately, and just bless them with this. Let the men teach these boys what a beautiful time this is, of strength and gaining, like you said, the divine seed is placed in them, and women, that we align with the moon and his new creation, and old things pass away and all things become new, and how that he is speaking to the life of our womb. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah.
I'm encouraged to do that with my granddaughters.
Can I just say something real quick? And you guys, please don't be offended by me, but little boys go through nocturnal emissions, and that is the same thing as a little girl having her period. Okay. So it's okay. And it needs to be something that they're not feeling like they did something bad.
No.
When I had my period, when I first started my period, I thought I did something wrong. And my mom didn't have the skills to explain it to me in any other way. It was something that had to be done. But
it's the curse. It's the monthly curse.
It was the curse.
Can we not say that anymore? Yeah. It is a gift. And even though some of it is pain, but what is birth out of pain?
Of course. Well, and what is the discomfort? It's growing.
Yeah.
When they're growing, their bones hurt. All of you that have 6 and 7-year-olds, your kids are going through growth spurts, and all of a sudden their bones hurt. It's like there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, Tylenol doesn't even take care of it. Their bones hurt because they're growing. They're in that, and it's getting to be, spring pretty soon. So they're going to even be growing more. But yeah, so just if we could just look at things a little bit differently, and just take a deep breath, and just say, you know what, maybe we don't know everything, but this thing that we do know, you know what, when you plant seeds and you water them, and they get sunlight, and they're in good soil, they're going to sprout a harvest. Your children, the same thing. They're going to sprout a harvest. You're sprouting a harvest. Your husband, plant good seeds into your husband. I promise you, he will sprout a harvest. You have no idea. Doesn't matter. Don't even look at his soil. Don't even worry about it. So you plant seeds of life into him, and he will sprout them, because God's going to take care of it. All of us. It's all nature, right? It's all, well, I hate saying nature in the sense that it's creation. Let's put it that way.
That's good. It's all creation.
It's all creation.
Now we understand why we say Hesat. We take courage because we are commissioned.
Yes.
We are commissioned to bring wholeness back to this planet.
Yes, we are.
So we are telling each other to be strong, be courageous
Strengthened,
as we go to the
yes,
next book, as
sisters.
we end this book and we go to the next one, because we need to be encouraged. Our arms need to be strengthened for this task of bringing heaven to earth, of being the royal priesthood he's called us to. And I have to say thank you. Thank you for the ladies on here who support us in prayer, who support us
Yes.
financially.
Yes.
I can't tell you, there's so many of the least of these that we want to bless. There's so many ways that we want to be able to get the Torah to women, to be able to bless their homes. So thank you for those of you do. And if you want to partner with us and be on that team with us and help us to do that, I'll put a button in there. It's great if you help us like $1 a month. If you said that, it's so nice because we, our finances and stuff we have other people who handle that. Our Misty is one, and we have we have departments. We have
CFO.
Departments that do things.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to the integrity part of this conversation of this thing. And maybe I do say that there's an integrity that happens, and we want to be integrity with our books, that we're very, things are it's wisely spent, that we are being wise and good stewards, and we want to bless the widows, the orphans, the aliens.
Yes.
We want to be able to do that. And we love that the lady, when we said we're putting the sister finder together, you all came together and in like a few hours raised $500, because that's what they're charging us. It should be ready, she said, by the end of this week. So exciting. So where you can find each other easy on a map off of our website, those kind of things we want to put together. If you help us, that would be amazing. It would be so amazing to us. And we promise, again, we'll be good stewards. We are a 501c3, so it is a tax deduction, but I mean, does that really matter? I don't think so. I think it matters that he sees that as a mitzvah, you're giving to something. You can't do it, and we're doing it. We're your hands and his hands extended.
Exactly.
And I know that we just we're good soil. I believe it, Brenda. Do you? I believe we're good soil. We're good soil for you, for that seed. So thank you. Thank you in advance for those of you. And I will do that, and be blessed and have integrity, ladies. Have integrity with money. We're coming. This is a season when there was accounting of everything.
Yes.
At the end of this, everything had to be accounted for.
Every single thing.
Open. There had to be integrity in all of it, because our integrity, that's what makes us different, is our integrity. So the little things like, oh, I've hijacked my Apple, or those little sticks, or my account, so I'm getting all these things for free, and you're telling your friends that, would you remember that's not integrity.
Stealing.
Sister, it's stealing.
Yeah, don't do it. Not because for us, for you. Don't do it for you. It's a bad seed. Don't plant bad seeds to your friends.
Don't. It used to be, when we would teach this session, we would say, don't make illegal copies of CDs and DVDs. Well, no one does that anymore. I mean, you can't do that. It's different now, but we can say, don't steal other people's material. That's why we try to say, oh, this is where I got this.
Right.
This is who have this. I'm very careful with the music I play, that it's used by permission, because for things that we're charging for, because they work hard on those gifts.
Work hard. Yes.
And it's all free, and it's all for everyone. Of course it is, but be honorable, so your friends see you, and it's okay to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't participate in that. It's not honorable. It's not ethical. It's just thank you for that. Thank you for having high integrity and being a good example and bringing heaven to earth, and be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed.
Yes.
Chazak.
Amen. Chazak.
Yes. Be strong, ladies.
Yes.
And those of you, if you're still not too late, join us over in the portion. You can still join us. I mean, over here on the Zoom, we'll have a quick little, or who knows if it's quick, but I will be here and there for quick, but so y'all can chat with each other. Come over and chat with us. We just love and adore all of you. Be blessed.
We love you all.